Fans, hold on, because today we're diving into a scenario that has the entire NHL community talking. The Toronto Maple Leafs, one of the most followed, analyzed, and I confess, most pressured teams in the league, are in the middle of an offseason that could change the franchise's history. We're talking about a rumor involving a major trade, capable of altering the team's identity and possibly defining its immediate future in pursuit of the long-awaited Stanley Cup. The name at the center of attention is Rasmus Dahlin, a defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres, young, talented, and with an impressive track record. On the other side, Morgan Rielly, who to this day is a player with the longest tenure in Toronto, Easton Cowan, and the 2028 first-round pick could be on the negotiating table. For those who follow hockey, the situation is intriguing. After all, would this be the end of a cycle or the beginning of a new era for the Leafs? And more importantly, is Toronto willing to give up so much human capital and future potential to achieve what they've been chasing in the playoffs? This narrative isn't just about numbers, stats, or point tables. It's about identity, pressure, legacy, and the desire to finally exorcise the ghosts that haunt the Leafs every spring. So settle in, because we're going to break down every detail, every implication, and every possible outcome of this move that already looks historic even before it happens. First of all, it's necessary to recognize the merit of the Toronto Maple Leafs this offseason. Despite the changes that have made the team look different from what we knew, the additions and subtractions have a clear purpose: to create a team capable of overcoming the barriers that always appear in the playoffs. Defense has long been playing at a high level. Morgan Rielly is a solid defenseman, known for his ability to move the puck and contribute offensively, but there's a growing perception that he is no longer the number one defenseman a title-contending team needs. Rasmus Dahlin's name enters this context as a possible solution to this dilemma. At 24 years old, Dahlin has already built an impressive career, with stats that place him among the most promising young defensemen in the league. Last season, he recorded 68 points in 73 games, including 17 goals and 51 assists, along with 98 blocked shots and 101 hits. He combines elite offensive production with physical presence and defensive intelligence, something the Leafs have been tirelessly seeking to strengthen their blue line. The trade rumor involves Rielly, Easton Cowan, and a 2028 first-round pick in exchange for Dahlin. Is it a risky move? Absolutely. But if Toronto believes their window of opportunity is now, with Matthews and Marner at their peak, and Nylander and Tavares at critical contract moments, the bet may be necessary. It's worth noting that interest in strengthening the defense isn't new. Toronto had previously considered names like Erik Karlsson and Dougie Hamilton, but no deal was ever finalized. The situation is complex. There are many moving pieces, and the team must balance immediate needs with the future of the roster. What makes a trade for Dahlin even more interesting is that it not only adds an elite defenseman, but also weakens a direct rival, the Sabres, while giving Toronto a young player with potential to become a franchise star for years to come. The central question is, why would Toronto consider giving up Rielly, Cowan, and a future draft pick for Dahlin? The answer lies in the combination of immediate need and championship ambition. The team has an explosive offense, with Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares forming a line capable of rivaling any in the league. However, when the playoffs arrive and the level of competition rises, the blue line needs to deliver reliable and consistent performance. Morgan Rielly is recognized for his mobility and transition skills, as well as his offensive contributions. But defensively, he faces recurring criticism. He's over 30 years old, and although durable, the natural decline with age is approaching. For a team that wants not just to advance, but to be competitive in every playoff round, relying on a defenseman not considered elite can be a risk. Rasmus Dahlin, on the other hand, represents exactly the type of defenseman Toronto desires. At just 24, he has the energy, physicality, and intelligence to play heavy minutes in all situations, 5-on-5 power play or penalty kill. His ability to score 15 to 20 goals per season, combined with 50 assists, 100 block shots, and 100 hits, means he can impact the game at any moment. He brings the perfect balance of offense and defense, offering the Leafs the security and production the team has sought for years. But the decision isn't simple. Giving up Rielly, a respected veteran, and also mortgaging the future with Cowan in the 2028 pick shows that Toronto will be taking a high risk, betting everything on Dahlin's ability to transform the team. It's a classic win-now move, requiring absolute confidence in the team's ability to compete for an immediate title. Morgan Rielly, at 30, is the most experienced player on the roster. He has always stood out as a mobile defenseman with excellent vision and the ability to move the puck quickly into the attack. In recent years, his average ice time has been around 22 to 24 minutes per game, contributing roughly 40 to 50 points per season. Drafted by the Leafs in 2012, Rielly has spent his entire career in Toronto and is recognized not just for his on-ice skills, but also for his character and quiet leadership. However, his defensive ability has never been considered elite, and many analysts believe he is one or two steps behind the NHL's top defensemen. Compared to others in the league, he resembles a transitioning Ryan Suter, solid, reliable, but not the number one defenseman who could lead a team to a championship. Easton Cowan, still young at 18, is seen as a future prospect. His speed, energy, and defensive responsibility make him a valuable asset, but he is still developing. He represents an investment for the future, which the Leafs might be willing to give up if they believe Dahlin can bring a championship now. Rasmus Dahlin, at 24, has already established himself as one of the NHL's most talented young defensemen. Last season, he recorded 68 points in 73 games, with 17 goals and 51 assists, along with an impressive 98 block shots and 101 hits. His offensive production, combined with physicality and defensive intelligence, puts him among players with potential to compete for the Norris Trophy in the coming years. Dahlin was drafted first overall in 2018, and his playing style is a mix of Victor Hedman and Erik Karlsson. Exceptional offensive ability, defensive intelligence, and physical presence that ensures security in all situations. He represents exactly the type of player Toronto has been seeking to finally consolidate its blue line. If this trade happens, the impacts will be immediate. Dahlin would take the role of the number one defenseman and could play 25 to 27 minutes per night, including power play and penalty kill. With him on the team, Toronto not only gains an elite defenseman, but also improves puck movement and defensive control in critical moments of games. This would be crucial for the playoff rounds, where any defensive mistake can be costly. Rielly, meanwhile, would find a new beginning in Buffalo. There, he wouldn't need to take on the responsibility of being the number one, but could contribute as an experienced defenseman, helping young talents like Bowen Byram and Owen Power develop. Cowan would add depth to the roster, and the 2028 pick could become a valuable asset in the future. For Toronto, it's a high-risk, high-reward move. If Dahlin establishes himself, he could anchor the defense for a decade, giving the Leafs a balance they've never had and significantly increasing the chances of finally winning the Stanley Cup. But we cannot forget the human and emotional side of this trade. Rielly is more than a player. He is the living history of the Leafs. Someone who has seen the highs and lows of the team, who has carried media pressure and fan expectation for years. Letting him go would mean closing a chapter, dealing with the weight of history, and betting on an uncertain future. Dahlin, on the other hand, would bring hope, but also the pressure to immediately meet high expectations. Toronto would be showing the world that they are willing to do everything to win now, betting on youth talent and the ability of an elite defenseman. Would Rielly accept leaving his city and team of the heart? Would Dahlin be able to fit in and elevate the team to another level? These questions remain unanswered, but the mere rumor is enough to spark heated debates, detailed analyses, and endless speculation about the upcoming season. In the end, fans, this potential trade between the Leafs and Sabres is more than numbers. It's a story of legacy, pressure, ambition, and high stakes. Dahlin has potential to transform Toronto's defense, while Rielly and Cowan represent stability and the future. And you, what do you think? Should Toronto bet everything on Rasmus Dahlin and try win the Stanley Cup now? Or is it better to keep Rielly and continue building with promising young players. Leave your opinion in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next analyses of NHL rumors, stats, and scenarios. The season promises drama, emotion, and of course, top quality hockey. See you next time, fans, and here's to another unforgettable season.